Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. Who hasn't wondered how distance education, or EAD as it's often called, has completely changed the way we learn, breaking right out of our computer screens to actually impact the real world? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly that. We so often think of online learning as just staring at a monitor, but a massive shift is underway that is fundamentally changing how we acquire and use knowledge. Let's start with a fundamental question. Is distance education just a screen? It is incredibly easy to fall into the trap of thinking that online learning is this lonely, purely virtual experience, completely isolated from the physical world. But as we're going to see today, that's a huge misconception, and it's rapidly being challenged by some truly innovative pedagogical strategies. To get to the bottom of this, we're diving into a brilliant 2026 paper published in the prestigious journal Aposta, Revista de Ciencias Sociales. The study is titled Education EAD, Do Virtual Al Real, and it's put together by an incredible research team: Tatiana Cristina Pinto, Elaine Patricia Perea Souza, Ubijara Donicete Ferreira Leon, Rafaela Vareta Gofrido Santini, Ronaldo Perea Souza, and Avate de Luneta e Rodriguez Gura. Stick with me to the end as we look behind the scenes of how education is moving from a digital simulation into a powerful real-world force. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. We'll start with the growth of online education, explore frameworks like the space of flows and real virtuality, dive into the integrative project, and wrap up with emancipation and social impact. Section 1. The growth of online education. So, we've all witnessed the massive boom in distance education. But here's the central point the authors make. Just digitizing traditional classes into PDFs or automated video playlists, that just doesn't cut it anymore. The core issue is bridging the virtual and the real. The paper analyzes the intense friction that happens between impersonal virtual instruction and the actual practical transformations in a student's daily life. It's not just about delivering data, it's about understanding how this format affects critical thinking, autonomy, and the actual reality of the person studying. Section 2. Space of Flows and Places. Now, what's really interesting about this is how the researchers use Manuel Castell's sociological theories to explain this setup. Picture a direct contrast. On one side, you have the space of flows. Think fluid digital networks, global data, instant speed. The internet, basically. On the flip side, you have the space of places. This is your anchored physical reality. It's your neighborhood, your geographic territory, your local social context. The big challenge for modern online education is that the system operates in that fast-paced space of flows, but the student? They actually live, breathe, and learn in the space of places. Section 3. Real Virtuality. The authors argue we've got to stop treating the digital world as some fake, watered-down simulation of a physical classroom. Enter real virtuality. This means the digital environment is an actual, legitimate ecosystem where culture and learning happen. It's a real place. However, the virtual learning environment is not a neutral space. Navigating it successfully requires students to step up and develop serious self-management and active discipline. You can't just be a passive observer here. But how do we stop students from feeling isolated or completely lost in that vast virtual ecosystem? The authors point to managing transactional distance. Now, this isn't just about the physical miles between you and a campus. It's that sweet spot, the vital node that balances technological speed with actual human connection. Institutions have to actively manage this. Teachers need to act as true facilitators, ensuring students aren't just subjected to cold automated instruction that ultimately makes them want to drop out. This whole philosophy is brilliantly captured by theorist Pierre Levy. He emphasizes that learning happens everywhere, especially in virtual spaces. And acquiring competence must be explicitly socially recognized. If institutions start recognizing the talents and skills built in these digital realms, we can empower people and uncover hidden talents that might lack a formal traditional certificate. Section 4. The Integrative Project. Theory is great, but let's move to how this builds in the real world. The Virtual University of the State of São Paulo, or UNIVESP, actually turned this heavy sociology into actionable practice through their Integrative Project. It works as a clear three-step process. Step 1. Virtual academic learning. You gather the knowledge online. But step 2 is where the magic happens. You take that theoretical knowledge and apply it directly to your local community to solve actual problems. By step 3, because of this real-world application, the student is validated not just as a passive learner, but as the active protagonist of their own educational journey. Crucially, UNIVESP's strategy actively prevents that isolated student syndrome. They subvert instructional automation by putting the student's physical territory right at the center of the learning process. They build collaborative innovation networks and use active pedagogical mediation, meaning teachers actively guide the students rather than just acting as a repository of content. Ultimately, they successfully turn technology into a powerful tool for social inclusion.
Section 5. Emancipation and Social Impact.
Zooming out, the research group reinforces that distance education plays a gigantic social role in democratizing access to knowledge and shattering geographic barriers. But for that potential to really hit home in the real world, digital infrastructure has to walk hand in hand with pedagogical quality. You literally cannot have one without the other. When you successfully blend solid academic theory in the virtual space with localized community practice in the real world, you don't just get graduates, you create citizens who are truly prepared for contemporary challenges. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question. Is your digital education changing your local reality? It really challenges us to look at our own online learning habits. Are we just passively absorbing data in the digital space of flows, or are we actively taking that knowledge and using it to improve our physical space of places? If you enjoyed understanding more about the future of education and want to support our work here so we can keep bringing you more visually structured explainers of scientific research, I have a special request for you. Please take a second to drop a like on this video, share it with that friend or colleague who studies or works in education, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That simple help makes a world of difference for our growth. Thank you so much for watching. Big hug and keep learning.